Good afternoon, student. Am I audible? Thank you, student, for your response. So we just wait for 1 or 2 minutes, and most of students join. Then we quickly start our lab sessions. So we start our second practical as per the GTU syllabus workshop subject. Now the second practical title, which is regarding basic Windows and Linux shell command. So we are aware about these are the two OS, Windows as well as the Linux, and similar name that also we called as Ubuntu. But we go for the first of all, what is the meaning of the command? Now the command that we represent a set of instructions used to perform a specific task. Now, which type of the specific task? For example, I have created any file, I have to make any folder, or I have to delete any file, I have to know my IP address, and many more tasks that we can do for the command. And that we called a command, which we have to provide a set of instruction to perform a specific task. So we go for the example. I have write down mkdir space ram. So it's a create a one folder, or we call a directory, okay, which a name that is the ram. So that is the we called example of uh, command. So we go for overview regarding a Windows OS. So Windows, which is the easy to use, as well as you can do any type of the actions, like you can create a file, copy, move, delete, update. You can watch movie, listen song. You can make a website. You can run any software like C language, Python, Java, .NET, Microsoft Visual Studio, Office, Microsoft, and many more tasks where you can do into the Windows platform. And that all are the instruction which clicking by the icon and execute some files, and that all. So now we are aware about the one term that we called DOS operating system, or either we go for like any install system like Windows or a Linux. So for example, if you purchase a laptop, and at that time you see the configurations, so where you get two category, the one with install OS laptop like a Windows or Linux, and second laptop that you purchase without operating system. So that we called a DOS operating system. It means it's give a laptop but without installation of the OS. So that is the term that we are aware about DOS operating system, as well as the any install operating system. And now we go for like Windows versions. So older, so where we have a Windows Vista, then after Windows XP, then after Windows 7, then Windows 8, 8.1, Windows currently 10. If you purchase like any new laptop or desktop, and if you go for the Windows platform, so you get a predefined install a Windows 10 version. So that is the basic overview regarding Windows OS. We move with that basic command. Now the first of all basic command, that is the IP config. Now if you go for the full form, so that is a internet protocol configuration. Now for example, I have to know my system IP address. So then I have to run command that we call a IP config. It also gives the extra detail like DNS, what is your domain name, system. Then it's give TCP IP detail, transmission control protocol, internet protocol detail, network configurations where you can see DHCP protocol, another IPv4 and IPv6 detail. So that is the first and basic command that we call a IP config, which give the network related detail. So let's we go for that example. So now in a Windows, you have to just click on a left hand side corner and that we called a start menu. You just click on start menu and then you have to type a CMD. So CMD, that is the full form that we called a command prompt. You have to open that application command prompt, which is a which is a default available on your all Windows platform. Either you go for Windows 7, 8, 8.1, 10. So that is the default applications which we called a command prompt. So now in a command prompt, we have to write down that all a list of the command. So let's we go for the first command, IP config. So now you can see it's a give a list of the network configurations detail. There is a question, Vishnu sir, please repeat regarding the command prompt. Which topic you not understand, Vishnu? Okay, let's we continue with IP config. So it's a Windows Internet Protocol configurations. Now mainly like we focus on IPv4 address. So you can see that is my IP address from my system 172.21.17.206. That is a subnet mask where you can see 255.255.2.480. That is a default gateway 192.168.16.3. Then also it's a represent IPv6 address, that also it's a represent. How to open inbuilt Windows. Just Vishnu, you have to type a CMD in a start menu and you directly open a command prompt. Just type CMD. Then it's give like if you have any virtual machines, so that detail also it will be a provided. Also you get a DNS detail, so that I have to use internet from a MEFGI. So it's give the where it's a source of the internet. It is a Marwadi Education Foundation group of institutes. That domain currently I have connected. So that is the network related detail where you got from the IP config command. Now next command which we have a ping. So we have to just write down ping, then space any live website name. So now the generally ping command that we use for the checking the connection between one system to another system, okay, which connected via TCP/IP, or we call which connected via LAN cable or a Wi-Fi through or hotspot through. And then you have to check whether your connections established or not. So then you can use a ping space. If you check for the internet access, you have to write down any live website name. And if you check for the two system connection, then you have to use a IP address. Now the ping command which send a small packet informations, and if you receive the all packet informations, so it means your connection is found, okay, which is working. But if you get any lost packet, so it means your connection is not properly established. So let's we go for that example. I have to write down ping, then space, like I'll go for same example, google.com. Yes, you can see it's a send for packet 4 packet received and the 0 packet lost. So now it means that my connection is 100% working and internet in my system. But if you get any lost packet, so there is a disruptions in your connections. If you check the whether internet is working or not, then you can use the ping command. Now the next that is a traceset command. So it's mostly similar to a ping command which see the network packet detail, which are the nearest to a destination hops so that it's get that all packet detail. Like I go for a trace at google.com, so it's give the which is the nearest IP address with that time, and that is the time which represent into the millisecond. So let's we go for that example. It's take a 30-minute time to just complete the command. So you can see scanning it's completed. So here you can see if I reach out 172.21.16.1 host, it's take less than 1 millisecond time because it's have in a same domain. You can see the my IP address. So last digit 1 and here I have 206. So it's not take too much time to reach out that address. Then like if I have to reach out that, it's again take 1 millisecond. That address 13 millisecond, 15, 13. It's give that connections details. Now the next which command have a dir. So that is a basic and important command. Like for example, if I am located in a C drive in a user folder, and then I have to know which list of the file and folder it's available in this specific directory. Then I have to run the command dir, which can display list of the file as well as the subdirectory that we called a folder. And next command that we have a cd. So now the meaning of cd that we represent a change the directory. So like you are in download folder and then like you move into the a picture or video some another folder name. Then we can use the cd command, cd space that folder name. So these are the two basic command dir and a cd. So let's we go for that example. dir. So now you can see currently I am located in a C drive in a user folder and in a my username that is the max where we currently located. Now I have to know in a max folder how much file and folder it's available. So then I have to type a dir. Now you can see the detail. It's give a 20 directory and one file which available in my max folder. It also give the hidden folder detail. So now you can see the here the star, so that also dot, so that all are the hidden folder, and then you can see the that all actual folder name it's a represent. Now for example, you have to move into the like a document folder or like a link folder. Then how you can go for that folder? So then you have to write down a cd space that folder name, or that we call a directory name. So now I redirect into the link folder. Now you can see my cursor now point into the link directory, or we call it a link folder. So now in a link folder, again I have to know how much file it's available. Then again I have to run a dir command. So that is the two command that we use. Dir, which give the list of the file and subfolder which is available, and cd that we use for the one folder to when you move into the another folder. Now here like I have to go back for the like next folder. Then how am I left out? So then we have a command cd space dot dot, and then I have put the enter. So now you can see again I left out from link folder and redirect into the max. Now again you have to go back from a max folder. So then cd space dot dot. You can see you directly redirect to a user drive. And if you like enter into the any directory or any folder, you can use a cd space that name. So now you can see again I enter into the max. These are the two command dir and cd. Now next command, like for example, if you deleted any file, so then you have to write down a del space in double inverted comma file name with that extension. Like for example, if you have to deleted a multiple file, so then delete del, then file name space second file name again space third file name, and continue. You have to write down if you deleted a more number of file. So that is the basic command delete. Like in a directory max, like you see I have one file 1 docs. Now that I have to delete it. So then I have to write down del in double inverted comma 1 with that extensions. And now if I press the enter, so it's a deleted that file. Now like if you have to delete it of more number of file, so then put a space and write down another file name also like abc.txt, and again one more have, so that also you have to write down and then press the enter. So it's deleted that list of all file. Okay, now next again it's important and basic command mkdir. So now here mk meaning that is a make a directory, or we called make a folder. Now for example in a sub specific drive, like you have to make any folder, so then you have to write down mkdir, then that folder name. Now next that is command rmdir. So now the meaning of rm, that we call a remove directory. It means if you like a deleted any folder, then you have to write down rmdir space that directory or that folder name. Let's I have type mkdir and folder name, like I have to create a workshop folder. Then I put a enter. So it's a created, but how I know whether it's created or not? So then I have to write down a dir command directory. Now you can see the result. After the video folder, you can see workshop folder it's created. Also, you verify the date as well as the time when it's created. So you can see 10th December 1 o'clock and 19 minutes it will be created. Good questions here. What is the difference between a delete command and rmdir command? Yes, that I want to accept from you. So we take one example. I have created, you can see a workshop folder. Now in a workshop folder, like I have to put a 5 to 7 file, like 2 presentations file, do 2 to 3 doc file, and 2 to 3 Excel file. Now, for example, I have to delete that all file. Then I have to write down a del, then all file name with that extension. And so that deleted that all separate file. But I have to delete a specific workshop folder. Then delete command, it will not work. Then I have to use a rmdir that a folder name. Now you can see the workshop folder, it will be a remove. We go for the directory. Now you can see after the video workshop folder, it's not available. So again I repeat, when you have a single file deleted, so at that time you can use a delete command. And if you go for the rmdir, it's a deleted entire folder. If inside, if you have any file, that also it will be a deleted. But a delete command, it will not deleted any folder. Again I repeat, in a delete command you have to not delete any folder. If you have to delete a folder, then you go for the rmdir command. So now I hope you get the answer. Good. Now next two command which have ms info 32. So it's give the whole summary regarding our system, like which type of the detail. So it's give a hardware resource detail, component detail, as well as the basic software detail, where a system driver, that arrow variable, and that it will be a represent. So we go for that command. ms info 32. So now you can see it's open one screen. Here left hand side you can see it's have three category hardware, that all hardware detail where you can see. Then there all are the component, modem, network, port, USB, and these are the software basic system drive, variable, that all detail where you can see it. It also gave a summary where you can see which OS I have installed. I have installed Windows 10, that a specific which version. Otherwise available, like if I have installed a dual boot, so that detail it will be represent, which manufacturer, which is the my system name, system manufacturer, it means my laptop, so that is a Lenovo, which type 32-bit 64, then processor i5 7 generations. So that a basic summary which is provided by the ms info 32 command. It also give like what is RAM. I have 8 GB RAM. Then physically it's available, how free. Also it's give total virtual memory. The virtual memory, it means if you install any virtual machines, so it's give that detail, how many GB you have allocated, how many it's available, and as well as access. Now next which we have command a system info. So it's more like similar to MS Info 32, but it's also give extra and unique detail that you can see security informations, product ID, few hardware component detail, like a RAM, disk, network interface card. So that detail is also provided by the system info command. So let's we go for that example. So now you can see the result. Yes, here the result you can see host name, OS version, manufacturer, built OS. So that are most are the common. Here you can get a unique detail, a product ID. So that is my Windows 7 product ID, or that we call a license key for the my Windows 10. Then also it's give a original install, that it means okay, when I have installed that OS, or that we called okay, when last time I have formatted my system and install any OS. So that last date it also provide date with a time. Then a boot time. These are the common informations, manufacturer, model, types. Again, this is the common, how many RAM physical, 8 GB physical available, that virtual memory. Then also it's give network interface card details, IP address. So that's it's also give like IP address details, IPv6, IPv4. So that is the command that we called a system info. So now these are the basic command from Windows. And if you go for the like each and every command, we have 1,000+ command. And if we take each and every example, let's take an entire semester. But as per the your practical title, where we go for just basic command, okay, which is helpful for the first year student. So that is the basic command for a Windows platform. Now we move to a Linux platform. So let's we just start a parallelly virtual machines, okay, where we perform that all command. I already install a Kali Linux on my system in a virtual machines. So let's it's take a 1 to 2 minute time. Let's we parallelly understand the that commands also. So now Linux, that is the open source, or we heard the one term of freeware. Because if you purchase like a Windows OS, so it's a required that a fees. It means if you license key that you have to purchase it. But if you go for the Linux, it's a open source and freeware available compared to a Windows. Now we go for like Linux versions. So maybe you heard the name Ubuntu, where Ubuntu have a subversion like a 12, 14, 16. Currently they have released 18. Then also we go for some other versions Linux, so that we have Kali Linux, Backtrack OS, Metafiles OS, Parrot OS, and many more that is a part of the Linux platform. So that is the majorly difference between a Windows platform as well as the Linux platform, okay, where a Linux you can get a open source and freely available. So let's we go for the first command that is the ID. There is one questions which a desktop environment is used in Kali Linux. I'm not understand your questions, Subham Jani. You discuss about Linux, Kali Linux version or virtual machine software. So we have first command that is the ID. So generally ID which give the name okay, which exact user execute. It means which user you have to login. That is the give the result from the ID. Like if I'm logging as a root user, as a student user, as an administrative user, or as a guest operating system. It's give the that a user name. So that is the first command ID. Now next command that is a PWD. So now PWD meaning that we called a print working directory, and which is the give the result where currently you are the located. So that a detail which provided by the PWD command. Like for example, in a root directory, I am located in download folder, and then I have to print my current directory path. So then I have to type the command that we call a pwd, to which give the root directory to current directory where you have to locate it. So that detail it's provided by the pwd command. I think one student. Okay, Subham have. Okay, now I understand. Subham, that is a KDE, K desktop environment variable, which is supported in a Linux. Desktop environment variable that is KDE for the Linux. Now next command that we have ls. So ls that we call a list of the directory, which is similar to a dir command in a Windows. So now the ls command which give the list of file as well as the subdirectory, it's available in your specific locations, and also give the same hidden folder detail also. Now next that we have command cd. The cd command that is again same for the Windows, which you have to move one directory to another directory, or that we call like a one folder to another folder. So then we can use a cd command. So where we have to write down a cd space that a folder name. So we go for that practical examples. So now you can see that is the home screen of a Linux system where I have to install a Kali Linux. So you have to just click on the applications, so where you can get a list of the all installed default software. And if you go for the favorite, so here we have a terminal. So you aware about the one difference. In a Windows, we go for a command prompt. In a command prompt where we have to write down a list of the all command. Now, if you go for the Linux platform or Linux OS, So where you have to write down the command in a terminal. So it means you have to open the terminal. So let's first command, that is a id. So now you can see the result. It's a represent the user which I am to log in, that is the root. The user ID as well as the group ID and as well as the group. Now, for example, I am logging as a student. So it's give the here student detail. As administrative, it's get administrative. It means the which username you have to log in. That detail it's provided. Now next that we have command, that is a ls. Now the meaning of ls that we discuss, a list of the file and directory. So now you can see the result. It's a hacking text document, hacking dot cyber text document, hacking exe file, picture, template, desktop, music. It's a C. Now here are one things that you aware about. Whatever blue color represent, that all are the folder or we call a directory. And the white color name, that is represent as a file. Again, I repeat, a blue color represent that is the folder, and you can see the white color represent that is the file. Now next command, that is a cd. Like I have to move into document folder. Then I have to type a cd space document. So now you can see I have redirect into the document folder. Now here, like I have to see a list of file. So then again I have to run ls. So you can see in a document folder only just one file available, hello.txt. Now next command that we have a pwd. So now it's a print a working current directory. So now you can see currently I'm located root, then after the document directory. So these are the four basic command: id, ls, pwd and cd. Now, for example, I have to move a backtrack from a document folder. So then we have to write down a cd space dot dot. So now you can see I left out from document folder and redirect to a root directory. It means if you enter into any folder, so then cd space write down that directory name. And if you go for back, then a cd space dot dot. So it's a redirect to your previous directory. Now next two command, that is are the similar to Windows. mkdir, so again a same meaning, make a directory or any folder. So mkdir then space that directory name. Then next command that is rmdir. So now the meaning of rm, where you have to remove the specific directory. Then you have to write down rmdir space that directory name. So let's we go for that example. So like first of all, I will run the command ls. So these are the file and folder available. Now I have to use mkdir and workshop. It's a created, but how I know it's a created or not? Which command I have to run? Then I have to check. Maybe anyone know? ls, good student. Wow, quick response. Very good. Subham, Prince, Vishnu, Abhijit. Have to type a ls. So now you can see the clearly difference previous and current. The workshop directory or we call a folder, it will be added, and previously it was not there. Now same, like I have to delete, so then I mdir and that name. So it's a deleted, but again I have to verify, then ls. So now you can see it's a folder or directory. It will be a remove. So that is the command that we call make a directory and remove a directory. Now next a command that is a clear, the which clear your terminal screen. Now for example, where you have to write down many more command which execute, and if you not want to close your terminal, where you have to just clear your screen, then you have to write down that clear command. Then next command that we have if config. Now if config, it's similar to Windows where we run IP config where it's get a detail regarding your IP address, subnet, MAC address, and other detail also like IPv6 address. So if you want to get your network configurations detail in a Linux, then you have to write down the command that we called if config. There is one question. What is the difference between IP address and MAC address? Good. The IP address, that is the full form of Internet Protocol, okay, which assign when you connect it through the Internet services, so it's assign a one ID for your Internet access, and that we call a IP address. And IP address, it will be a dynamic because it will be a change. And your MAC address, it will be a fixed address, and the MAC address that we known as a physical address. Like we aware about if we purchase like a mobile, so it's have a ISMS which a fixed number which a provided. Same way to each and every computer that a laptop which have a fixed MAC address which cannot be a change. And IP address, it's a dynamically change. Like for example, right now I'm connected through internet. I have again a disk card, and again I have to connect it. So it's assign a dynamic IP address based on the allocations. So now, for example, those are the security agencies. They have to capture the specific person through MAC as well as the IP address, because the person it will change that IP address through the VPN and different software. But MAC address, it cannot be a chain, it's a permanent. I hope you get the answer. Good. So let's we go for the command clear. Now you can see many more command I have write down. Now I have to like write down the clear, and now I press the enter. So now you can see my screen, it's a redirect at the top most. It means so it's a clear the terminal screen. Now next command that is a if config. Let's give a network detail. So here you can see on a second line inet address. So that is 192.168.115 and 134. So that is my IP address for the Kali Linux system. Then you can see the subnet details. So that is 255.255.255.0. Then you can see the broadcast address. Here inet 6, so there is a IPv6 address. So that is the network related. If you detail no, then you get the then you type the command if config in any Linux platform. So now these are the basic command where you have to know. Yes, it will be a same. because it's a machine address. That's why it will be a same. But if you go for the IP address, so you can see it's a different because in my Windows IP address that I have 172.21.17.206, and you can see the here my Linux Kali Linux IP address, that is a 192.168.115.134. Let's I will just open cmd config. So now you can see the clear difference, that is a 192.168.115.134, and that is 172.21.17.206. So that is the difference between that both. So now that is the last slide. So today we also completed practical 2. So now any query in a basic command of Windows as well as the Linux. There is a question, sir. VPN just change our IP address, right? Yes, it's changed your dynamic IP address. Just it no, it's a generated alternate IP address and it's hide your actual IP address only. There is a question, sir. We have to do in the assignment. Not no, here we not have any assignment and assignment book. Not no student. We have to not make any assignment book for our practicals. Now we discuss about lab manual, and that lab manual I have provided a ready made. You have to just directly add a few things and upload into the Google Classroom. So that we discuss here. So let's no one student have a doubt on practical 2. So let's we move into the lab manual part. There is a question. So if I'm using a virtual machine in a Windows, will that work as a VPN for me? No, no, no. It's not work for a VPN. It's the software where you can run multiple OS parallelly in a virtual machines. It's not a VPN. So let's we go for lab manuals. So now that is your workshop lab manuals, which contain a number of 18 page 18, and that a lab manual, a soft copy editable doc file where I have already uploaded in your e-contain before 2 weeks. Anyone can download that files, or anyone can verify it's available in e-contain or not. Okay, Prince say yes. So now it's a you go for the lab manual. It's a ready-made lab manual. Now you just go for on a page number 2nd, where you have to mention your full name. Then you write down your class name, 1EC1 B batch. Then you have to write down your roll number. Then you have to write down here a subject name. That 4 detail you have to add. Again I repeat, your full name, class with batch 1EC1-B, your roll number and subject name, that is a workshop. You have to not add any date, subject in charge name as well as the head of department. આ 3 field blank લાખવાના છે. You have to just add just 4 detail only. Then you have to make a PDF file, and that PDF file you have to upload in Google Classroom. So now any query how to upload lab manual in Google Classroom and how to make a lab manuals. So let's we just go for in detail. So you can see the two practicals title, practical one, basic command. With screenshot I have added. Same Ubuntu that command. Then after HTML. So it's a ready-made lab manual. You have to just add a second page certificate detail and then you have to directly upload in Google Classroom. So now any query for the uploading lab manuals. And those are the right now 20 students join. I hope all are the join Google Classrooms. Any students facing the issue regarding joining the Google Classroom? Is there any student right now which till that of the time not join a Google Classroom workshop subject I have said about? So now tell me how much time that you need to make that lab manuals. Prince have questions. Every lab manual we just write a for detail. Prince, I'm just said about a computer workshop lab manual only. I'm not said about every lab manual. I hope you get the answer. Just tell me how much time you have to need to upload that lab manual in Google Classroom. Yes, that is the smart questions, smart answer from here. You have to write a submission date as a 31st December. Yes. So I have set a deadline that is a 31st December. So before a 31st December, you have to upload that lab manual in a Google Classroom. The last date that is a 31st December before you have to upload that lab manual in a Google Classroom. I think it's a 10-minute time. You just download file, add just for detail, make a PDF and upload into the Google Classroom. So now the one more announcement that is the last lab sessions from the computer 2 practicals and from the my side. Now the next week onwards where you move into the electrical faculty where they have to teach that practicals. So that is the last lab sessions from my side. I hope you enjoy the sessions and all two practicals. And if you have any query, so you can put me the message. I'm already in a WhatsApp group. And now I already take a list of the participate screenshots and right now 20 students join and that all 20 students get the attendance. Once again, thank you. Yes, Aryan, the last date is 31st. Before 31st December, you have to upload a lab manual in Google Classroom. And you get a lab manual from e-content. And I already uploaded both a practicals, a PDF file in a Google Classroom as well as in your e-contents. I already take a list of participants screenshot. The please do not write your name and roll number in chat box. I already get that details and you get the attendance. Don't worry.